She fell in love with her best friend the day he decided to marry someone else. Julia Roberts and Cameron Diaz star in My Best Friend's Wedding tonight at 8:30. And now, Target.
Hello, I'm Janet Wilson. Welcome to Target. Tonight, watch as our CD repair people make us dance to their tune, giving us mediocre service. Tonight, we grab our ghetto blasters and hit the streets. But we're not going busking. We're checking out stereo repair people to see if they hit the right note or lead us into a merry song and dance.
Plus, endlessly trudging around shops looking for that perfect make, model or size is now old news. By just clicking onto the internet, you can have a world of cyber malls and goods at your fingertips. Tonight, I go surfing online and suss out the pros and cons of internet shopping.
And Sue discovers recycling is more than just a load of old rubbish. First up, though, CD repairs. It's this week's hidden camera trial. We took a handheld stereo to 4 Wellington repair shops, and when we pick them up, it's not only fat tunes we receive, but fat bills as well.
Yes, we contrived 2 fairly simple faults for our repair people to fix. For the first, we dirtied the laser lens with a mixture of glycerine and industrial cleaner. This mixture stopped the laser reading the compact disc while not actually damaging the unit. When the disc was put in and the play button pushed, nothing happened. CD players operate by shining a tiny laser light on the underside of the CD. This light must be precisely focused on the CD or it won't work. And the dirt on the lens in this case is just enough to defocus it, so no music.
So this is just a simple cleaning job, really, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. The dirt is removed quite easily by using a cotton bud dipped in alcohol, then gently lifting it off.
Right, and for the second fault?
Well, it's not hard to find. We melted the power lead so it only had 1 layer of insulation instead of having 2. After the outer layer of the plastic lead was melted, it left clearly visible damage on the cord.
So for this fault, what should they do? Replace the faulty power cord?
Yes, either that or tell the owner that it's dangerous and shouldn't be used.
What could happen if the unit is used with that faulty power cord?
Or any more damage and the owner could be slightly toasted.
Ooh, frightening. OK, well, let's hit the road, and our first port of call is in Wellington's northern suburbs, in Newlands. This is Advanced Television Services.
He asks for contact details, explains there's a minimum charge of $33.75, and asks her if the problem is with the CD.
Well, he's doing OK so far. Just filling in the paperwork now.
He asks what the symptoms are, and our actor replies that the CD player is not functioning at all. The repairman says if the laser was dead, it probably wouldn't be worth replacing, as it wouldn't cost that much more to get a brand new unit.
Well, that's very honest of him. He also says he'll call and let her know what needs to be done and how much it will cost, so she can decide what to do.
He tries to give our actor the power cord to take with her, but she says she'll leave it with him.
Well, that would have made it extremely difficult to find the second fault. He now goes on to say it may just be that the laser is dirty. Well, he's definitely onto it, isn't he?
Yes. A few more questions about the age of the unit. He says the laser's only good for a couple of thousand hours, which is about right. So if you play your CD for an average of, say, 10 hours a week, it's only going to last about 4 years.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, 1 down and 3 to go. And we're now taking our broken down stereo to Kilburnie, to Harbourtronics.
And here's our actor arriving, and she explains the CD player is faulty. And he says he'll have a look and call her to let her know what's wrong. Just taking a few details down.
He also tries to get her to take the power cord, but ties it to the unit when she refuses.
A good question. He wants to know the age of the unit. He says the laser has a limited lifespan, but says they don't just suddenly die. Normally they deteriorate over time. He adds that some say lasers die after 1,500 hours of use, but usually do last longer.
There's no deposit at this place. He says they only charge a deposit if it's likely the customer won't bother to get it repaired and then not pay for his time. Well, our next port of call is in Upper Hutt, and this is Beta Telecom. And same routine here. She says the CD isn't working and can it be fixed, please? Taking down contact details now.
The assistant says they will call and let her know if it's worth repairing or not. And this time she doesn't try to get the actor to take the power cord with her.
Quick and cheerful service in there. I hope the quality of their work is just as satisfactory. And our tiki tour of Wellington and the Hutt Valley ends in Lower Hutt. This is GP Electronics.
Giving the attendant the rundown on the problem and jots down her details for him. He's unplugging the power cord. I think he's going to give it to her, but once again she gives it back.
They say they'll call if the job is going to cost over $100. No deposit here either.
When she asks how long the job will take, someone out the back of the office says it will be between 1 and 2 weeks.
That's quite a while. They must be busy. Well, that's the last one dropped off. No reason for us to delay, though. Let's see what happened when we returned for collection.
And here's our first pickup at Advanced Television Services in Newlands.
Well, here's the stereo. Straight away, he says it's $93.90 without even saying what's been done. That seems a lot of money. Our expert priced this simple check over and a clean between $40 and $50.
Well, the actor asks what was wrong with the unit, and the assistant says he wasn't the one to do the repair, but reads out a worksheet detailing what was done.
It lists that the player was cleaned. They also found a part that had come loose inside the unit, so they refitted that.
Not much change out of $100.
Well, no mention of the potentially dangerous power cord, and it does seem like a lot of money for a check over. What do you think?
Well, he did completely dismantle the unit, and he did find a switch that was loose that we didn't know about, but there were no spare parts required, and our expert did think we were charged about $30 too much.
OK, well, time to see now how Harbourtronics in Kilburnie performed. And our actor asks what the problem was.
They fixed the faulty speaker, which we didn't ask for, but they did clean the laser and delivered it in working order, and also lubricated the motor driving the lens.
This is excellent. He's pointing out the burned cord and says...
That's almost through to the wire.
Right.
And that'll bite you.
So we get our change and hit the road.
This job cost $65. It's slightly outside our expected cost range, but a good job done by Harbourtronics.
OK, time to pick up our next CD now. Let's revisit Beta Telecom in Upper Hutt.
There's our stereo, and the assistant shows our actor the laser they replaced.
What do they mean replaced? It only needed to be cleaned. How much did that extra part cost us?
$74.97, including GST. It's $129 for the whole job.
Well, we did tell them to go ahead with the work if the price was reasonable, but only if the part was required.
Yes, we double-checked on that. They returned the old laser to us, so we reinstalled it in the unit, and it worked perfectly. So since they didn't need to replace it, but they did, they should have explained why when we picked up the unit.
And they never mentioned the dangerous power cord either. We get our change, and off we go. Well, last but by no means least is GP Electronics in Lower Hutt.
Only 1 out of 3 have pointed out the damaged cord so far. Let's see if they can spot it.
The man fetches the stereo.
And he says something has been spilt on the lens, which is perfectly true.
So did they clean it off or not?
Well, yes, they did, but when we got the stereo back to the workshop, it wouldn't go at all. It's possible they damaged the lens by trying to clean it with something too strong.
He says the only way to fix it is to replace the laser unit, and says he doesn't even know if they are available, as manufacturers prefer people to buy new units.
Not true. It may take some effort to find the part, but it's really up to the customer to decide whether she replaces the part or buys a new stereo.
And that cost us $10 for GP Electronics to permanently ruin the laser in our stereo.
And no mention of the hazardous cord either.
Well, quite a disappointing result from our repair people. While 2 companies did clean the lens, only 1 noticed the dangerous power cord. 1 replaced the laser unit unnecessarily, and the other company damaged our CD laser when attempting to clean it. We wrote to all 4 companies. Their responses later in the show. After the break, Greg shops till he drops when he checks out the cyber malls, and Sue gets her rubbish sorted in this week's Know Your Rights.
The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup,
I say a little prayer for you.
while combing my hair now, while wondering what dress to wear now.
I say a little prayer for you.
Rupert Everett, Cameron Diaz, Dermot Mulroney, Julia Roberts, My Best Friend's Wedding, tonight on 3.
So, do you guys know the key to perfect noodles? It's getting just the right amount of delicious sauce and just the right amount of tender, golden noodles. Enjoy.
Yum.
So how do you know? Oh, you just know.
New Canton noodles and noodle sauces make delicious Asian meals easy. You can't go wrong with Canton.
You blokes are right to drive?
Mate, still alive, aren't I? Get in your car.
Hey, remember to tell Finn to give me a call.
Yeah, okay. On your phone?
Yeah, right. Bye.
That was close.
Did you meet up with Matt?
Matt who?
Matt Simons. I told him you were at a pub with the boys. He went up to see you on his bike.
As soon as I wake up, I need one. Yeah, I'll probably have about 5 a day. I've got all the band onto it too. If I don't get my hit of Jarrah Cappuccino, I won't go on stage. Every woman craves Jarrah, 99% fat-free.
How good are the new Hyundai? Well, this is what the motoring press say.
The Santa Fe excels. The Elantra, A for performance, practicality and dynamics.
So how good is the new Hyundai? Very good indeed. Gary Cockham Hyundai, corner of Tuam and Durham.
Right now at New World, get this beautiful hand-painted 3-piece earthenware breakfast set for only $6.99 plus 15 bonus stamps. And there's a full range of accessories for a complete dinner service. Sorrento tableware, only from...
New World. Drench capsules give 100 days protection against all manner of parasites. So ewes are in better condition, give more milk, and pastures are cleaner. No wonder the lambs gain weight so fast.
Had this many before, not been overweight?
Well, look at it this way. Imagine how much the meat company's going to have to pay for this load.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ivermec Maximizer and Extender. Greater productivity, better returns.
Welcome back to Target. Online shopping means no parking hassles, angry crowds or heavy shopping bags. But do the benefits outweigh the pitfalls? Greg Boyd finds out.
Sick and tired of facing this? The weekly dose of trolley rage. Need to find an easier way than this when you want to shop around? Well, it's hard to believe it at the moment, but I'm here hanging out at the mall. The E-Mall, that is. So for the price of your internet connection, you can shop online. That's shopping without leaving the comfort of your own home. New Zealanders have embraced the internet. Last year alone, 300,000 Kiwis made purchases online.
New Zealanders themselves appear to have embraced the concept of online shopping far faster than most of the European countries, with the exception of the Scandinavian countries, certainly faster than our nearest neighbours, Australia, and certainly faster than the Asian countries.
And we're getting keener each year on e-shopping. You can buy almost anything off the internet.
Typically, the sort of purchases that we see New Zealanders buying online are things like computer software, CDs, books and magazines are very high up there, as are travel-related services, and that's a pretty common pattern all over the world.
So if you're ready to give it a try and add that extra dimension to shopping around, how do you save time, money, and make sure your credit card details are safe?
They have to be aware of what they want, very specifically, what sort of pricing they can buy for locally or from traditional bricks and mortar stores, and be prepared to make very hard and honest comparisons about whether online represents good value or whether online is just an attractive and different way to shop.
So, time to do some e-browsing. Make sure you know what currency the price is in. There are tools which can help you with this. They're called shop bots, and they'll compare known brands for you. Remember, the cheapest option is not always the best. Check out quality, and if there's no information to make that decision, move on. After you've shopped until you dropped and found the item of your dreams at that dream price, it's time to sort out the dosh. Now, this is where things can go wrong. The main reason New Zealanders don't shop on the internet is security worries. So how safe is it to give your credit card details over the net?
Although you may have heard of people losing credit card numbers on the internet, or people breaking into online stores and stealing credit cards, or people listening into your email and picking up private information, it is actually perfectly safe to transmit that information over the internet and to use your credit card on the internet. And make sure that you know who you're dealing with. So look for contact details or look for names on that website and people you can actually talk to in case it's necessary. Secondly, make sure that you have a secure link, and you can see that on your browser. Look for a closed lock or for HTTPS, where the S stands for security. And thirdly, make sure that the people that you're giving that information to have a secure website where they store that information. And you can find that out by looking for a security policy that they might have on their website, or also a privacy policy in which they say what they're going to do with your information.
So for your own protection, there's some basic principles to stick to. Good sites should have their policies on returns and refunds clearly posted. They should also have a physical address and phone number. Plus, there should be full information regarding their privacy policy and the way in which they store and use your personal details. A recent Ministry of Consumer Affairs survey found that only half the New Zealand sites looked at had adequate privacy policies in place, and they didn't have enough information on refunds or returns, so they're doing something about it.
What the code seeks to do is make sure that businesses express very clearly on their websites what sort of security mechanisms they have in place, what people can expect to happen to their credit card details and their personal details, so that the customer is satisfied that the level of risk they're taking, if you like, is satisfactory to them. An international development that should assist with consumer confidence is a thing called econsumer.gov, which is an internationally developed database where a consumer in New Zealand who's purchased something in the US, for example, and has a problem, can go to this database, they can put their information in about their complaint, and a US consumer agency will receive it.
Just like any marketplace, you need to shop wisely. There are savings to be had, and retailers do have schemes and special offers. Many of the same rules of shopping apply. Shop around and do the research. Don't forget to factor in delivery costs, and they could tip the balance on whether you're getting value for money. As for me, I like a bit of bricks and mortar shopping thrown in as well. But if you want to have the shopping experience without leaving the comfort of your own home or having to deal with the crowds, then you can just do this. And be browsing around in seconds.
Now, here's the ever-resourceful Ian Orchard with his tip of the week.
Everybody gets hiccups from time to time. Now, while they're not serious, they can be annoying or uncomfortable or, let's face it, embarrassing. Lots of things can bring them on. Spicy food, fizzy drinks, stress, eating too fast. Let's face it, we've all been guilty of that one. When you get the hiccups, it's because your diaphragm up under here has gone into spasm.
Here are some methods to help you get rid of them.
First, there's the blocking your nose, holding your breath, and swallowing technique. Right, now we're going to try the old drink out of the other side of the glass trick. Now, if none of these have worked, let's bring on the food. First is the spoon of sugar. Okay, then there's peanut butter licked slowly off the spoon. Okay, we'll try some crushed ice. Here we go. So if none of these works, it's time for the heavy artillery, the brown paper bag. Just rebreathe your own air until the hiccups go.
Or if none of them work, try the fright method.
When we return, we hear back from our CD repair people, and so does Herbert for the environment in this week's Know Your Rights.